name is Burton. I am the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. And people say, Brad, how did you become the UK's #1 motivational business speaker? I just made a website and said I'm the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. And sometimes that's all you've got to do. The first person you've got to convince of your brilliance is you. I'm serious. If I said to you, I'm the greatest, which boxer am I referring to? Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time. Well, let me tell you something about Muhammad Ali. He got beat 5 times. And the reason we refer to Muhammad Ali as the greatest of all times is because 40 years ago, he referred to himself as the greatest of all times. So in order for you to be a success, you're going to have to start believing in yourself. Now, as the UK's #1 motivational business speaker, I need motivating. Because it's a damn sight easier you lot sat there saying, well, go on then, Baldy, motivate me. Right, I got you, arms folded there, go on, Baldy, motivate. So what I'm going to do for a bit of fun is I'm going to go off stage. And when I come on stage, I'm looking for that nutcase who gives it a 10 out of 10 out of 10. Does that make sense? It makes no sense whatsoever, but I appreciate the 2 people trying to help me out. Thank you. So I'm going to go off stage, and when I come on stage, I want a big round of applause on a scale of 1 to 10 out of 10, all right? I'm off stage, I'm off stage, I'm off stage. I'm on stage, give it up, people! Yeah. Stop. Be really honest. Be really honest. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you reckon that was? Be honest. I'll say a 5. I'll say a polite 5. And let me tell you something about a polite 5. This is what happens in life and in our business. It's on a scale of 1 to 10. If you used to write down how hard you worked every single day, more often than not, you'd write a 5 out of 10. And you know something, there's a 10 out of 10 out of 10 in each and every one of us each and every day. And it's a case of digging deep and finding it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go off stage again. And I'm looking for that nutcase who gives it a 10 out of 10. And I'll tell you something. I'm going to sweeten the deal. I'm going to sweeten the deal. Because that person who gets off their ass, I'm going to give you a free copy of my second book, Get Off Your Ass Too. And the clue in the title is there. Because you win nothing sitting on your backside. So, if you can all just sit down a second, I'm going off stage, I'm looking for that nutcase who gives it a 10 out of 10 out of 10. I'm off stage, I'm off stage, I'm off stage. People give it up, I'm on stage! That's what I'm talking about! Yes! Right, let me explain something. You, sir, were amazing. What's your name? Simon. Simon, but you know where you went wrong? You sat down too early. Listen, often in life and in business, the difference between success and failure isn't quitting. You were the best, no question, but you sat down too early. This gentleman at the back there, what's your name? Chris, you win. Big round of applause. Simon, seconds away, friends, seconds away. Right, and this is the point I'm trying to make in life and business, is we quit too early. And what happened there was going, oh, everyone else is sitting down, everyone else is sitting down. I know what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit down. And the lunatic there stood up. But there's a business and life and career lesson right there, people. Because I've wanted to quit. I've been embarrassed. Back in the old days when I first started, I used to walk around with a pizza box. 12-inch pizza box like this, and everyone used to go, who's the nutcase? I'm going to get into the nutcase later. Can I ask you a question? Anyone in the room ever told their employer to shove the job up their arse? Good stuff. I thought as much for you, Kev. Anyone ever thought about it? It's more like it. Well, I'll tell you something. I actually did it December the 16th, 2004. I said, you know what? Shove your job up your arse. And I walked out on a point of principle. And I tell you something, people. It was a wonderfully liberating experience. It really was. For those 3 hours whilst I drove home. I'm married. I've arrived home going... I've opened the door and standing before me was 8.5 stone of common sense. She says to me, the wife, she says, you're home early. You're here to look after baby Ben while I go shopping. That's one way to look at it, Kerry. The other way is I've told my employer to shove the job up the backside. What do you think, boys and girls? My supportive wife said. Why couldn't you keep your mouth shut for 5 days and get your Christmas pay? She had a point. Look, Kerry, it's fine. I'm going to start my own business off. How difficult can it be? Fast forward 3 months, I'm sat in my box room in my underpants. Control yourself, ladies. Incidentally, my wife describes me nude as neg on legs. Something for the weekend there. And I remember sat there aggressively waiting for the phone to ring. Come on, phone, ring, ring, ring. After all, I'd spent lots of money on adverts. So I went downstairs to watch some Jeremy Kyle. Spot the self-employed people. And I'm waiting for those all-important DNA results. to find out whether it was Steve or Dwayne that had got Chantel from Canning Time pregnant. When the phone goes, hurrah, it must be that advert paying off. Picks up the phone, it's the supportive wife. She's in full-time employment, baby Ben's in childcare, £6.5 an hour, and I'm MD of my own business. More like managing depression. Because nothing prepares you for what it's like. It's a lonely, lonely, cold place. The wife says to me, how's it going? You know when the boss asks you, how's it going? How's the sales figures doing? What do you say? Fine. Even if they're not fine. Said to her, lots of irons in the fire. My wife says to me, Brad, when HSBC start taking irons in the fire for mortgage payments, you let me know. Until such a time, you're going to have to do something. So Monday to Friday, hi, I'm Brad Burton, the award-winning marketeer. The company's called 4 Consultancy. We're a full-service new media and creative design agency. Lovely to meet you. Friday, 6 PM, ding dong, hello mate, Domino's Pizza. I was delivering pizzas at weekend to keep myself afloat. Now the reason I say this is in order to get to where you want to be in your life, your business, your career, you're going to have to do shit you don't want to. Sorry. In my case, delivering pizzas. And it all went horribly wrong one day when I rang the doorbell, ding dong, door opens and standing before me was one of my clients from my marketing business. Brad, what are you doing here? What it is, Steve, was undertaking a direct marketing campaign for Domino's, so I thought I'd really get a feel for the organisation by delivering pizzas at weekends. It was the meal deal you wanted, wasn't it? I forgot your garlic bread at my back. So that was like literally 12 years ago. Now here's the thing, when I started my business off, £25,000 in debt. I started my business off, you need 3 things to be a success in your life, your business, your career. 3 things. You need ideas, vision and belief. It's about belief. It's about belief. It's about belief. And when I started my business off, all I had was unwavering, misguided self-belief. That's it. And I started my business off February the 16th, 2006, my second business, for networking. And I remember it was a business networking event. And I went along to my launch and there was 9 tables. And of the 9 tables, I stood up there the first day, difficult to believe, but I was shaking like a leaf. I was like Elvis, And I remember saying, welcome to the future of business networking. And there was a table at the back left that started laughing at me, sniggering. That's my enduring image of that launch day. Not the 8 tables that didn't laugh, but the table that did. And we as human beings are all guilty of that. We're all guilty of focusing on the sales meeting that didn't go right. We're all guilty of the time it didn't happen with a proposal, whatever. And I'm urging you to start looking at the 8 tables in your life that are good, not the one that wasn't. So I started that organisation off. The bank manager laughed in my face. He said to me, you've got no chance, you don't have enough working capital. I'm from Salford, Manchester. I had no idea what he was talking about. So I started that off. Fast forward now, 12 years, we now run over 5,000 meetings across the UK. From something that everyone told me it wouldn't work. And you've had things that you've proposed that people say would never work, so consequently you never try them. And I'm urging you today to try your ideas, lock in your vision, lock in that belief today. Because every single decision that you've ever made in your life has brought you to this room today. Why is that? Do you just like bad coffee? What is it? So every single decision that you've ever made has brought you to this room today. So I started my organisation off and then said, you know what, I'm going to go and become a writer. And I remember going to speak to an expert, and an expert said to me, Brad, you can't possibly write a book, you've got no experience. And the title that you want for your book, Get Off Your Arse, is an offensive title, and quite frankly you won't get it in Waterstones with a title like that. So guess what I did? I wrote a book called Get Off Your Arse, and guess what I did? I went to see the chief buyer at Waterstones, me. I rang up every single day for 6 weeks. 6 weeks I rang him up every single day. And this is what you've got to do in any role or sales. You've got to be tenacious. You've got to keep going. Because there's going to be times when you think, you know, well, I've called every day for 5 weeks. But I called for 6 weeks and eventually he picks up the phone. Hi Steve, I've been trying to reach Brad, how are you? Yeah, sorry I've not come back to you. Pooh, been busy, end of year. He said, come in. So I went to see the chief buyer at Waterstones, and I walked in there, and the best way to describe it was like Mr. Burns. So Brad, why are you here? You're the chief buyer at Waterstones, I've got a book, what do you frigging think? Thought that, never said it. Right? I said, can I be honest with you, Steve? That was his name. I said, really honest? He said, sure. I said, I've got no frigging idea what I'm doing. He burst out laughing. He said, that is the best sales pitch I've heard in 20 years. This is not a sales pitch, I'm being honest, I have no idea what I'm doing. There's another business lesson here for you. Blagging will get you so far. And then you need to be honest about that. Either honest with yourself, or honest with your clients, or honest with your team. So my book that I was told by a literary agent would never get published, that would never get in Waterstones, was published, self-published it, did get in Waterstones, and it's also the highest rated and reviewed business book on Amazon. What's your excuse? What is your excuse that you're telling yourself right now as to why you can't close that deal, why you can't do this, why you can't do it? What is that now? When I say to you, what's your excuse? What are you saying to yourself? And actually ask yourself now what you're to do. Yes, no. Is that bullshit on yourself? Yes or no? Because your success or failure will be defined by your belief. And if you believe you can, you'll be able to. And if you believe you can't, you just talk yourself out of it. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to start talking yourself into things rather than out of. So then said, you know what? I'm going to become a motivational speaker. Now, just to put your mind at ease, I am from Manchester, do have a shaved head, do have tattoos, but don't worry, I'm not a drug dealer, alright? But what I'm trying to say is we can all change. We can all change. It's never too late to change direction. I'm living proof of that. I didn't start the change in my life till I was 31. I've done 4 years on benefits. 4 years on benefits. And now I'm considered one of the top entrepreneurs in the UK. Why? Because I changed my mindset. And you can do the same today. So I said I'm going to become a speaker. And once again, I sought out professional advice. And people said to me, Brad, you can't be a speaker. You need to wear a 3-piece suit and a pocket watch. And when you walk to the left, you're talking about the past. And when you walk to the right, you're talking about the future. You need to be an orator. Let me tell you what you need to be in your life. You. People say to me, Brad, you need to tone down who you are. And for 31 years of my life, I did just that. And at the time when I started finding my success, was at the point when I stopped toning down who I am and I started being me. Because true success in your life is being you. Not 90% of you, but 100% of you, 100% of the time. So the people that gave me the advice that I couldn't become a professional speaker, when I was on Made Conference at Crucible Theatre last Thursday, 800 people there, I looked left, I looked right, where are the people that give me the advice? Nowhere to be found. So somewhere along the way, you've got to start trusting in yourself. Now this whole business that I run, this networking one, is an interesting one. 5,000 meetings across the UK for networking, it stands there actually. But I've seen all sorts of people throughout that time in networking. And I see people come along saying, oh, I'm looking for high net worth individuals, I'm looking for high net worth individuals. Well, let me tell you something. High net worth individuals that are in this room today don't walk around with a sign saying they're high net worth individuals. I have people come up to me and say, oh, Brad, I'm looking for high net worth individuals. I say, are you a high net worth individual? They say, no. I say, do me a favour, piss off, I'm looking for high net worth individuals. Right? You can't have it both ways. I was with Theo Pathetis from Dragon's Den a few months back. Sorry, Prince Charles told me not to name drop. 1, 2, 3, that's alright, thank you. 4, thank you. 5, oh, we keep going. Personal best 5. But I was with Theo, and a guy came rushing up to him. Hello Theo, hedge funds, hedge funds, hedge funds, hedge funds, love your investments, love your investments. And then he stopped and started looking me up and down. Thinking, looking me up and down, these are brand new Samba special editions from Sports Direct. 55 quid, took out the orange label, gold label. Started looking me up and down. And what do you do, young man? I says, I'm a builder. And what do you build? Here we go. I said, big fuck off national businesses, how you doing? Do yourself a favour in life. Do yourself a favour in business. Do yourself a favour in your career. Do yourself a favour in sales. Stop looking at people with pound notes over their heads. Stop overestimating people. Stop underestimating people. Treat everyone the same with respect. Because you just don't know who knows who. And people get it all twisted. People get it all wrong. I've seen it so many times. There's a guy called Colin the carpet cleaner in For Networking. And people say, I don't want to have a chat with you, Colin. His like mother-in-law is like the chairman or chairwoman of ICI or ICL or something. But yet everyone overlooked him until they found out who he was related to, and everyone wanted to pile on. So start building relationships ahead of the time you actually need them. So this whole thing is about getting your belief locked in. Your belief to your mission. And I want you to think about your mission. What is your mission? What is your mission? See, anyone who drove here today, I drove from Somerset. I put it into my sat-nav, GPS. The first thing I did was what? Get the postcode. Boom, boom, boom. And it said, you've arrived at your destination. Where's your destination for your life program to? Where's your destination for your business program to? Where's your destination for your career program to? You would not dream of getting in a car and driving to Somerset to my office without having key information. Where am I going? Because you could jump in a car and you could drive south and you get to Somerset and then you start pulling over and saying, excuse me, do you know where Brad Burton works? You wouldn't dream of doing that, would you? Yet in our lives, we do just that. We do just that. And if I was driving along to here from Somerset and all of a sudden, my sat-nav lost its way, what would I do? I would pull over and I'd reconnect it. But in our life, we just keep going. So where is your GPS program to? Because it's a long way to go when you don't know when you're going. And that's why we end up discontent. That's where we end up being pissed off with our lives, pissed off with our career. Because we don't know where we're going. And we don't know the steps that we need to do to make a success of where we're going. So if I think about the journey that I've been on, your biggest business tool is your brain. And it's the one that we don't look after. It's the one that we just keep piling on, piling on, piling on. I'm working less now. Well, I'm not running around as fast, put it that way, and getting more output. It's not about your input, it's about your output. And I want you to think right now, on 0 to 100 miles an hour, how fast that you're driving. Just think about, in your head, how fast you're running right now. Because what we end up doing is going, yeah, I'm 100 miles an hour, mate, flat out, flat out, flat out. And that's wonderfully exciting until the cat runs out in front of you and you swerve and you don't know where you are. So I'm urging every single individual today to slow down, get more efficiency. Stop burning yourself out, being busy, being busy. That doesn't mean don't be effective. I want you to be effective. But slow down, because your biggest business tool is your brain. And here's the thing, if I go to the gym and I go lifting weights up and it's too heavy, what happens? It's going to rip. Your brain's a muscle. When was the last time you was kind to yourself? You are your biggest and best chance of success. When I think about me and what I've done over the last 10 years, my ingredients are exactly the same that they've always been. The thing that's changed, my recipe. You have everything that you need right now to be the success that you want to be. Your recipe, that might be fucked up. But your ingredients, you've got what you've got. You can't do anything more. When I think about me as an individual, I used to think that I didn't have enough. And now, I've got everything that I need. So I want you to be thinking right now about your ingredients. I want you to be thinking right now about your recipe. Is it correct for where you want to be, what the dish that you want to make? So here's the thing. I said before about standing up and not quitting. Genuinely, you know, we had a bit of fun with that. But that whole thing about not quitting. I've run my business now for 12 years. And over the course of the first 10 years, I've wanted to quit. True story. I wanted to quit 11 times. 11 times. 0 not quitting, 10 quitting. I've been 9.8, 9.9, 11 times. And I want you to think right now about an airfield. And on that airfield, there's a plane, a fighter plane. Pilot gets into it, takes off, afterburners on. Then at 10,000 feet, something happens. On the cockpit, a warning comes up. Warning, warning, engine malfunction, eject, eject, eject. If you or I were in that plane, it takes us a nanosecond to instinctively pull the yellow and black handle and eject out of there. But a fighter pilot, 7,000 feet, 6,000 feet. Keep reading the instruments, don't panic. 5,000, 4,000, 3,000. And only at the last possible moment would they eject. Welcome to your life, welcome to your business, welcome to your career. Because right now, you are flying a plane that you designed. Not Clegg, not Cameron, not Trump, not the horse meat crisis, not Brexit, not the interest rates, you. And I've wanted to pull the ejection handle. I wanted to pull the ejection handle 11 times over the decade. And you know the reason I didn't pull the yellow and black handle? Because I didn't have a yellow and black handle. I'd got rid of it. And if you've got a plan B, you don't believe in your plan A. And if you don't believe in your plan A, as in 100%, don't get upset when you're trying to sell your products and services and the person opposite you doesn't believe 100% either. So somewhere along the way, you've almost got to have misguided self-belief. I started this whole conversation off saying you need 3 things to be a success. You need ideas, vision and belief. And that's what I want you to do. Because if I look at my life is exactly the same rails, direction that I was going, except I decided to go this way, not this way. And it's all about decisions. You know what an expert is? An expert is someone who has made all the mistakes in a particular niche field. And we are so scared in business about making a mistake that we don't make decisions. And what I'm urging every single individual in this life is to start talking yourself into things. Because a mistake is only a mistake after the event. Up until that point, it's the correct decision. No one, including me, wakes up and says, you know what, I'm going to go fuck up today. But occasionally I do. But that's what an expert is. An expert is someone that has made all the mistakes in a particular niche field. So if you want to be an expert and regarded as an expert in your field, you've got to make the mistakes. And the only way you're going to make mistakes is by making decisions. But if you want more success, make faster decisions. Always ask yourself this question: can you live with the downside of any decision? If the answer is yes, you should go for it. So of those 11 times that I wanted to quit, the reason that I didn't quit, I'm going to get to that in a second. So you need to have a why. You need to have your why. Not my why, but your why. And I'll give you an example of this. I got a friend of mine. He owns a Mayfair property, £8 million. And I just went down there the other day. And I went to his private cinema. Underneath, he's got a 37-seat cinema. And he couldn't wait to show me that you can play FIFA on it. Brilliant. And I said to him, Steve, this is wonderful. I said, Steve, let me ask you a question. How many friends do you have? He went, 9. Where are you going to get the other 28? So what I want you to do is I just want you to understand why you're doing it. Because what we end up doing, you end up going, our life will be good when we get a 40-inch television, 60-inch television, 80-inch television, 100-inch television, 100-inch curved television. And we just end up fast-forwarding what we consider to be the boring bits in our life. And this comes back down to my point as to my why. 12 years ago, when I was delivering pizzas, £6 an hour, I promised my boy, baby Ben, 6 months old then, I would take him to Disney World. For the first time in my life, it was no longer about me. And that's what I want you to be thinking about why you are doing it. Not the reason you tell everyone when you're having a dinner party, but your true reason as to doing it. I buy my mum private healthcare. So I know that if I'm taking my kids to Disney World and I'm buying private healthcare for my mum, that my businesses are flowing. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to start locking into your dream, your vision. So you know what life's about, people? Life's about those summer of '69 moments Those moments when you're in a beer garden, drunk with your friend, dancing to the summer of '69. I'm into drum and bass music, yet for somewhere along the way I ended up this summer dancing to the summer of '69. It's about having a scoot on a shopping trolley when no one's there. You know what? Bollocks. Do it when they are there. It's about driving through puddles. I did it the other day. I'm 44-year-old. I did it. The student wasn't happy, but those memories will last me forever. You know, people, what this is about. I was there writing this book, Now What, my latest one. And I'm writing it on my iPad. Tap, tap, tap. And then my boy came in, he was probably 6 at the time, Brandon. And he started doing what anyone who's a parent or a grandparent will recognise. He started trying to reverse his bum onto my knee to sit down. And I'm like, come on mate, on your bike, daddy needs to earn pennies. And he was just being persistent. And he sat on my knee and moved my iPad forward. And he says to me, Dad, yes mate, I love you, you know. I love you too, son. Dad, yes mate, I really love you. I went, mate, I really love you. And he did something that anyone who's a parent or who's got kids will recognise. He looked me square in the eye. Looked me square in the eye. He said, Dad, I really love you. Give me a kiss on the lips, grabbed hold of my frigging iPad and pissed off in the other room, right? This was nothing to do with him loving his dad. It was a blag, it was a ruse. That, people, is why you're doing it. You're Brandon. Whatever your thing is, right? Because if your only motivation is money, it's not enough. You need a purpose to do with that money. I'll give you an example. If I think about this whole thing about being over here to get your dream car, all you've got to do is walk from there to there to get your dream car. Piece of cake. Try and doing it barefoot with lava and glass. No good. You couldn't do it. But if your family needed saving, every single one of us would. So this is what I'm trying to say. Locking your business goals to that thing that you'd walk over hot coals for. Locking your business goals to that. And understand that the money, you're going to do these things that you want to do for your family. When I think about the journey that I've been on, it's been one of self-doubt. I've been waiting for someone to tap me on the shoulder and say, Brad, you've been found out, piss off, right? That's how it is. We all have that imposter syndrome. But then one day you can do it and you actually realise that you can do it. So here's the thing. I had this dream when I started out to have a 10-bedroom mansion. What a 10-bedroom mansion. And I was working towards that. As it happens, I've got a 6-bedroom house over in Somerset. I have one room that I don't go in. If I had realised my dream of 10 bedrooms, guess what? I'd have 4 rooms I don't go in. So what you've got to understand is why you are doing it. Lock it in. So here's the thing. In this house that we've got over in Somerset, my wife and I were sat there in the front room. And in each of the corners of the room was a spider. A small spider. I said to the wife, I said, do you want me to get them out? I'm not, listen, I'm from Salford, right? I don't get it. By the way, my wife wanted a wood burner in the house. Right? I'm from Salford, Manchester. The idea that you write a fire inside a house and don't run for insurance purposes. Anyway, we've got this house, and we're in the front room, and in each of the corners of the room, there was a spider. I said, do you want me to get them out? She went, oh, it's all right, I don't mind small spiders. Yeah, small spiders grow into big ones. So that small spider in your life that you don't mind right now, you know what I'm talking about, that one, yeah? You do mind it, and you're hoping it's going to go away. But it isn't. And what I've got right now is complete clarity about my life because I've dealt with every small spider in my life. Every small spider, there's nothing. You know what, there's people out there that make more money than me. No question. But I don't know anyone who's more happier. Because that's what we're doing it for. Everything that we do from a business, life, career perspective, we're doing it to be happy. And that's what you've got to find, that happiness, that contentment. And then, and only then, will you find your success. You know, I'm going to round off now. But you know what true success is? Being you. Every single decision that you've made in your life has brought you to this room today. Every single decision. Just think about how nuts that is. Of all the places in the world that you end up living in Birmingham, you end up here today, you end up seeing the advert. And I'm giving you permission today to be you. I'm giving you permission today to be the best that you can be. I'm giving you permission today to lock in the ideas, that vision and belief. It's about your belief, because your success or failure will be defined by the ideas, that vision and belief. And if you don't 100% believe in you, then no one else is. My name is Brad Burton, the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. It says so on my website. Thank you so much. Thank you.